Over 80% of Earth's oceans remain completely unexplored. We know more about the surface of Mars than we do about the bottom of our own seas, and in the darkness of that unexplored world, things exist that science cannot explain. In 2011, two Swedish treasure hunters were scanning the floor of the Baltic Sea, routine equipment, routine mission, and then their sonar screen showed something that made them stop breathing. A perfect circular object, 60 meters wide, sitting on the ocean floor, with a 300-meter-long runway-like trail behind it, as if something had landed there. What they found that day, and what scientists have been arguing about ever since, is the subject of tonight's documentary. Because the Baltic Sea is not the only place where divers have found something that shouldn't exist. Tonight, we go 3,000 meters down, and we show you what's really there.
June 2011, the Baltic Sea, between Sweden and Finland. A team of professional treasure hunters aboard their research vessel, Ocean Explorer, are scanning the ocean floor with side-scan sonar. Their goal: finding old shipwrecks and salvageable cargo, a job they had done hundreds of times before. The sonar sends sound waves downward. Those waves bounce off the ocean floor and return as data, painting a picture of whatever lies beneath. Peter Lindberg and Dennis Osberg are watching the screen, and then, at a depth of approximately 85 meters, the image appears. A perfect circle, roughly 60 meters in diameter, about the size of a Boeing 747 aircraft. The edges were not jagged or irregular, the way natural rock formations always are. They are smooth, almost deliberately shaped, and behind the circular object, stretching back 300 meters across the ocean floor, is what appears to be a long, straight trail, as if the object had been moving across the seafloor and then stopped. Lindberg looks at his sonar screen, then at his colleague, then back at the screen. He later told journalists, quote, "I have been doing this for 18 years. I have never seen anything like this." The image leaked online, and within hours, the entire internet had an explanation ready. UFO crash site, ancient alien technology, Atlantis, a World War II secret weapon, a Nazi submarine base. Every theory spread faster than the actual facts. So what did scientists say? The object was eventually examined by geologists. Rock samples were taken from the site by diver Stefan Hogeborn and analyzed by Volker Bruchert, an associate professor of geology at Stockholm University. His conclusion: the object shows characteristics of a glacial deposit, a formation created during the last ice age when massive glaciers moved across northern Europe and deposited rock formations on the ocean floor. The Baltic Sea Anomaly highlights the complexity of geological processes and the power of media in shaping public perception. But here is what makes this story genuinely interesting. Not every scientist agrees with that conclusion. Rock sample tests turned up limonite and goethite, metals one geologist claims could not be found occurring naturally in an underwater rock formation at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. In the 300-meter trail behind the object, glacial deposits don't leave trails like that. The anomaly has been explored through sonar imaging, limited diving expeditions, and geological sampling, but it has not been exhaustively studied due to its depth and the technical challenges involved. So, we have a 60-meter circular object with metals that shouldn't be there, with a trail that no one can explain, and no definitive answer. The Baltic Sea Anomaly remains officially unsolved, but this is only the beginning of tonight's story. Travel 9,000 kilometers east from the Baltic Sea to the southern tip of Japan, a small island called Yonaguni. The year is 1986. a local diving instructor named Kihachiro Adatake is exploring the waters off the island's coast. He has dived here dozens of times before, but on this particular dive, he goes a little deeper than usual, and what he finds changes everything. Beneath the turquoise waters of Yonaguni Island hides one of the greatest mysteries of the Pacific Ocean, a colossal stone formation that looks like an ancient city swallowed by the sea. The Yonaguni Monument stretches across 150 meters of ocean floor. Towering terraces, sharp steps, flat platforms, and pyramid-like shapes rise from the depths, looking eerily like the ruins of an ancient civilization. Adatake surfaces immediately, contacts marine researchers. Within weeks, scientists from across Japan have arrived to dive at the site. What they find divides the scientific community completely. On one side, the believers, marine geologist Masaaki Kimimura of the University of the Ryukyus spends years diving at Yonaguni. He maps every feature of the structure in extraordinary detail. His conclusion? This is not natural. The perfectly flat terraces, the right angle corners, the staircase-like formations, and what appears to be a carved human face on one section of rock. These features, Kimimura argues, could only be created by human hands. And if he is right, the implications are staggering. If proven true, the site would have been modified during the last ice age, around 10,000 BC, pushing civilization back thousands of years. That would make Yonaguni older than the Egyptian pyramids, older than Stonehenge, older than any known human civilization. It would rewrite human history entirely. On the other side, the skeptics. According to most geologists, the stepped sandstone and mudstone form is understood as a natural creation, shaped along fractures and bedding planes by tectonic stresses in relentless erosion. Geologist Robert Schoch of Boston University dives at the site in 1997. He argues that Yonaguni sits in an earthquake zone and that regular tremors naturally fracture sandstone into surprisingly geometric shapes. The underwater pyramid-like structures might have formed over thousands of years through natural phenomena such as wave action, seismic activity, and fracturing. Both sides have experts, both sides have evidence, both sides have dived at the exact same location and come to completely opposite conclusions. And here is the fact that nobody disputes. The high concentration of questionable formations at one site is unlikely. Natural or man-made, Yonaguni is unlike anything else on the planet. Since its discovery in 1987, the massive Yonaguni Monument has been a subject of debate between scientists, archaeologists, and scholars. And nearly 40 years later, that debate has never been resolved.
But perhaps the most chilling ocean mystery is not a structure, it is an absence. In 1968, 4 submarines from 3 different countries vanished. 4 in 1 year from completely different oceans. The USS Scorpion, an American nuclear submarine, disappeared in the Atlantic Ocean in May 1968 with 99 crew members aboard. The French submarine Minerve vanished in the Mediterranean in January 1968. 52 men lost. The Israelite submarine INS Dakar disappeared returning from Scotland to Israel. It sent a message from the east of Crete, but this would be its final message as the ship never arrived. In 1991, the shipwreck was finally discovered, 9,800 feet, almost 3,000 meters, underwater between Crete and Cyprus. And the Soviet submarine K-129, carrying nuclear weapons, disappeared in the Pacific Ocean in March 1968. 4 submarines, 4 countries, 4 oceans, 1 year. The USS Scorpion was eventually found, but the official cause of its sinking remains disputed to this day. Documents declassified decades later suggested the U.S. Navy knew far more than the Scorpion's fate than they publicly admitted. And the Soviet submarine K-129, the CIA secretly attempted to recover it from the ocean floor. Operation Jennifer, one of the most expensive covert operations in American history.